Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's Get in Tune. I'm Michael Gracia, and once again, I bring you a great show. That's always my opinion, but I think it's the truth also. So, first of all, thank you all for who are already tuning in. Thank you if you're watching this on repeat somewhere. I really appreciate it. So, yeah, let me tell you a little bit about what's going on. I know October was I basically took September off except for one show. I've been back for October. I've been having a great time bringing Get in Tune back. I got some stuff I'll be talking about in an upcoming stream, not tonight, but I got some other streams going to be starting soon. So make sure you look out for the ads. Today is what some people refer to as Wiz Day or Wiz Wednesday. Remember, where is it? Right there at the Wiz Comic on both Facebook and Instagram. Remember, it comes out every morning, not every morning, every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m., between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m., really depending when I wake up and I feel like posting. But yeah, within that hour, Eastern time, you can read the Wiz. It's a classic newspaper style strip. Only published online, so that's where you check it out. If you want to publish it somewhere else, come talk to me. I'm happy to talk about that. But anyway, let's move on. We got a really great guest tonight. I've only talked to him for a few minutes backstage, and he already is like an awesome dude. I just looking forward to talking with him more. So, from Scattered Comics, let's bring on Jason Dube. Hello.
Hey, Michael, thank you for having me on your show. You're flatter me. Now giving me that buildup. I'm all blushing. Like, oh, great. Now I got to really step up my game here.
Don't screw up. That's all we're saying.
I know, right? Thank you so much for having me tonight.
Oh, no problem. Anytime. Like I said, I told you this backstage. I have been familiar with your work. I've seen, like, I don't think I've actually had a chance to read one of your comics, but I've seen
we're gonna change that.
I definitely want to, because I like the way things look, and there's one that I think there's one or two that have really like piqued my interest since I've been looking at your site. And we'll talk about that. And I'm just taking off my glove because I'm not drawing right now, so why do I even need it? But
it's time to have some fun.
You want to draw? We'll draw tonight. No, okay.
No, I've just finished my art stuff. I'm done for the night.
No, but yeah, I've seen your stuff online, whether it's through ads or I guess people sharing, or we have friends in common or whatever on social media, and I've always liked what I've seen.
Awesome, thank you.
And then we had a mutual friend introduce us this week because not that our styles are exactly similar, but we do have a similar take on certain ways we produce our work, I think.
I thought that was really cool because it's such an out of the blue thing. It's like, hey, I want to introduce you to. I'm like, what? To who? What? What's happening?
Yeah, well, our friend, I'll mention, he's been on the show, Don Smith. Awesome guy.
Great guy. Yeah.
Great guy. We'll I'm sure he'll be back one day on the show because we have stuff that we're gonna eventually start working on together, me and him. So that'll be but that's not anything I'm going to announce in the sense of title, what it is, or anything. Just Don. I'll say this about Don: if you're watching, first of all, we all know you're an awesome guy, but Don does a lot of is a writer, for those who don't know or missed the show, and you can go back to the Get in Tune Live playlist to find it. But Don is a great writer. Last, I don't know how many years ago, was it a year, 2 years ago, whatever, he did some writing for a Zorro story. If I can grab the book right here, I haven't promoted this in a while, but he wrote a story in here. I got to illustrate 2 stories in this book. One of them was Don's. And Don and I seem to have this great little working relationship. He's like, I got this idea for a character and story. And we just kind of go back and forth, and I'll sketch out the character for him to kind of flesh it out. But yeah, so like Don and I kind of have worked together in other formats. He's written a comic that I'm going to be illustrating. He wrote it many years ago, and due to certain things that happened in my life, I never put it out. But I recently just started drawing it. This isn't the project I was talking about. It's just a story I want to get out that he wrote for me.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he's an awesome man. Anyway,
so you've got a whole bunch of projects on the horizon.
Yeah, I try to keep busy. You know, I outside of my day job, basically, I sit in my studio here and I create comics, or I take my iPad and I go sit on the couch and I create comics.
There you go. That's the way to do it, man.
It's what I love doing. I just haven't put a lot out. The audience, the regular audience, knows I haven't put anything out in a while due to health issues that I've had and other things going on. But now I'm at the point where I am just pushing through everything and making comics. And The Wiz is my weekly thing to keep me going, and I have a lot of fun doing that one. But
well, like I said, I just met you, so I just subscribed to your channel, so I'm going to be following your work now. And
oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
I'll be in your comment section saying, so where's that comic?
Well, I follow both your YouTube channels, which we'll talk about later, but you do have 2 YouTube channels, which I follow. And I follow you not just on Facebook, but as of today, Instagram as well.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so I put you on.
Yeah,
I put
so
you on
many
Instagram.
Places now you can.
Oh yeah, there's so many. But you know, I've talked enough about me. This is a show for everyone to get to know you and your work. So let's forget about me right now, and let's get to know you. So, Jason, before we get into talking actually about your work, tell me what got you into comics. Who were, when did you, and not making them, I'm saying, like, when did you get into like reading comics? Who were your influences? What do you look at to keep you inspired?
Well, I was always into comics as a small kid. You know, I had 2 younger brothers, and every week my dad would take us to the 7-Eleven, and we got to pick one thing. And so my brothers always got the candy bars. I always went and got a comic book. So it's always been that way, since I was 8, 12 years old, getting the old. And I always did Marvel comics. For whatever reason, okay. I got my first Spider-Man, and then I was kind of just hooked into that universe. And since I was very limited in what I could get each week, I decided I'm going to collect, the Hulk, Spider-Man, Iron Man, the Avengers, the typical ones, I guess, from Marvel. But yeah, that's pretty much where I started. And again, like I said, I didn't have a really big allowance. So at one point, I wanted more Avengers. That was the big book I really like, And so I started. I was in 4th grade or 5th grade. Yeah, 4th grade. I was getting in trouble because I was taking out my paper and making my own little Avenger comics, basically, because I couldn't wait for the next one to come out. So I would just basically draw their adventures on a piece of paper, and make it was like the little 6-panel thing, nothing professional, nothing I'd ever show anybody ever. Because like a head and a potato body and some nub arms maybe, and they're just kind of moving around each panel. But that's kind of where it all started. To where I actually started getting serious was more in high school. I always kept doodling and stuff, but it wasn't until high school when people actually started asking me to draw stuff for them. They were like, "Hey, that's really cool. Hey, will you draw me something?" Or, basically just asking me. And I started thinking, this is a lot of work. Maybe I should charge them for this. I don't know. And at that point, I was still a comic fan, and I started thinking, well, if people like my work enough to ask me to draw stuff for them, maybe I could make comics that people would actually want to buy. And so that's where it started. I didn't actually draw my own comic books. I used to collect. I was really into horror movies. Okay. So I collected a lot of these fanzines and Fangoria and just like these little, and somebody had an ad saying they wanted to create a comic book and they were looking for artists. And it was like $5 a page or something really small. But I was like, oh, I want to do that. So I, contact him. He's probably like, oh, one person actually contacted me for this. So I did a comic called The Dead Walk, which is not to get confused with The Walking Dead, because this is back in 1990 or something. But it was basically just a horror zombie comic. Okay. A bunch of survivor, like G.I. Joe survivors that were fighting zombies. That's probably the best way to explain.
Sounds
it.
pretty cool.
Joe versus zombies. Yeah. So that's where it all started. And then of course when the Image Comics guys, went out and did their thing, it really started me thinking, this is what I want to do. I had gone to conventions for a couple of years, you know, just as a fan, and then a couple times bringing my art to the shows and showing them, and just having my artwork torn apart. Nobody liked it, or was like, yeah, you need some more, you know, what tools are you using? No, you got to use these tools, or you need more figure drawing, which I still need more figure drawing, but that's,
I think we all need figure drawing.
Yeah, I've taken lots of figure drawing, and still. So at one point, instead of giving up completely, I decided, you know, these image guys went and did their own thing. Well, I won't fire myself. I'm going to go ahead and do my own comic book, and that's kind of where it all started. I started doing my own thing, and it kind of just evolved. For 30 years later, here I am.
No, that's fantastic. I actually got a question for you since you brought up image. I was watching it the other night on Tubi while I was just sketching ideas. Have you ever watched the documentary? I think it's about 10 years old now. I think it's called The Image Revolution.
No.
I think it's because what are they together now? Well, I don't want to say together, but Image is what, 30 years old now?
That sounds about right.
So this wasn't, I don't think it was for their 30th. I think it was for 20. So it's about 10 years old. And and they, if you have, I mean, Tubi's free, you know, just look up Image, or just type in comic books or whatever. Because there's a couple of good documentaries. One called, like, I think it's called The Lost Superheroes or The Lost Heroes. And it's about Canadian comics and Canadian heroes. I mean, there's a lot of cool like old comic documentaries on Tubi that I like. But you know, it's funny because you brought up Image, and for me, when Image came out, I thought it was like, okay, it's going to be the coolest thing ever. And honestly, I did not like a lot of their books. But
really? Right at the beginning?
In the beginning, I think they didn't know that once they lost like true editors and they went kind of free reign. I don't think their stories were that great in the beginning. I think they got better. I collect Image books now. Like, I'll go read Image titles, but I think like that first run of Image books weren't the best. But I respect the hell out of every single one of those creators. You know, I know like Liefeld isn't doing interviews, but he's one of my dream interviews just because he gets to be like a 10-year-old
your channel
kid
would blow up.
Well, it's not even the channel blown up. I don't care, but I mean, that would be nice. But he gets like you ever listen to him talk? He's like a 10-year-old talking about comics. His love and passion for comics is just like someone I'm dying to talk with about comics, you know?
Yeah.
And then the other one, and not to go against any of the others, but McFarlane, just for the business sense this dude has.
Oh yeah, he's got a great sense of business. Oh my
god, I'm like, this is the person people need to be looking at. If you want to get in the comic industry and you want to build a brand, that's the guy to look at, you know?
I collected a lot of those. I don't know if you remember them. It was like the Comic Book Greats or something. It was hosted by Stan Lee. And he would bring on Todd McFarlane. A couple of times he brought him on. He brought in Todd McFarlane and Rob Liefeld to do a sketch together, and they did like create a character. I think it was Overkill or something. And then they had like all the Image guys come in, and they all did like they designed a character together. You know, someone wrote it, and someone was kind of sketching it out, and it was kind of fun to watch them do that. But by you saying that, it just kind of makes me think of that all those. Because Todd McFarlane, even then, he was actually talking about how to enter the industry the correct way, and then he would start talking about businesses and licensing and different things on his different interviews. So and I still watch his videos on YouTube.
Oh, absolutely. And
coming out with stuff. So
those comic book greats are on YouTube. You can watch them.
Or they are. Oh,
I found them.
I got the VHS tapes.
I got a couple of them too. My all-time favorite artist is Sergio Aragonés. All right.
Oh yeah, I got his.
I got his on videotape. What else do I have on VHS? How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way.
Nice.
Like that.
I think I got that one too. You know what? We probably have the same collection.
Yeah, but yeah, no, those things were were just great stuff. I love.
Yeah.
I'll still go back and watch the interviews just for the fun of it.
Yeah, same.
There's who was it? I remember Stan did. I can't remember who it was, but a couple of the guys from Mad Magazine. They did a
Really?
comic book rates with some of that. So yeah, those.
He did. Oh, that's right, he did.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have them all. I have a couple still. I have some. I don't know if I have them on DVD, but I got my closet is.
I probably
my shelf doesn't
try and
fall.
get them on DVD because I don't think I'm gonna have a VHS player forever.
They might be on Tubi. I don't remember.
I'm gonna look on YouTube and see if there's a way I could download them or something. Oh, should I say that out loud? I shouldn't say that.
Yeah. Don't say it out loud.
No, I don't know what I'm talking about. Never mind.
Yeah. Allegedly,
exactly.
Allegedly, you can maybe find a way, but anyway.
I'd love a box set of DVDs. That would be cool.
Yeah. No, those things were great. I loved all those. I got anything I can get my hands on to learn about, making comics, interviews with artists. Loved all that. I own a couple of the DVDs from Tomorrow's Publishing. I don't know if you know Tomorrow's. Tomorrow's looks like this. The Krypton Companion.
Oh,
and
okay, yeah. I've seen that cover before.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. Go ahead. What?
I never got the book, but I've seen that.
Yeah, no, they do a lot of cool things. They have, and I just put them away. Otherwise, I'd pull more out. But they'll do magazines focusing on different eras, different artists, and their interviews with the artists, or if the artists aren't around anymore, they talk to people who knew them, or people who are historians of their art. They'll do things focusing on characters, but they have DVDs of what's the word I'm looking for, of certain artists. I don't remember who off the top of my head because they're in my closet, but I own like 2 or 3 of their DVDs where it's like inside the studio with whoever.
That's the stuff I like. See, I've been noticing that more and more lately. I'm working, I'm drawing all day long, and I'm noticing, if I'm not listening to like 80s mega mixes of the old, high energy stuff, but I love to just watch other artists. I've been finding a lot of these live streams. People are drawing, live streaming. And it's such good inspiration and motivation. And that's why I have a lot of these comic book greats and what you're describing. I'll pop one of those in just for some, motivation or some inspiration, or of course, pulling out some comic books and looking at them, that's
of course.
But yeah, so I'm finding that a lot having this media with other artists, it's kind of like having a mini art studio in your house, because you get that interaction, you get that motivation, you see other people doing some art, and it's like, yeah, man, all right.
I will say that sometimes I'll use, for those who don't know, I use StreamYard as my service here. But I have a meeting room, like a hangout room that's private, that doesn't go live. And a few times like once a month, depending on the season, what my work schedule is like, I will bring friends together, and I'll be like, okay, these two will get along, and but because of service, like I could ask a friend who's like over in California, and another one who's in Arizona, and one who's here in New York, but maybe not like near me. And I'll be like, hey, let's just jump into the room and we just BS and draw. And it's like a drink and draw or whatever.
Yeah, there you go.
It's just,
that's the best.
Just friends hanging out. And I'll do that like on a Friday or Saturday night. Usually like around 9-10 o'clock, and we'll go for 2-3 hours and just hang out.
That's awesome. And you're getting work done too.
Yeah, exactly.
You're hanging out, having fun, and then you look down and you're like, whoa.
I just drew a comic page.
I'm done. Nice.
But yeah, and what's great is with StreamYard, as you can share, which I'll be sharing your website soon. So we'll just share each other's screens, and we'll be like, okay, and we'll see what we critique each other. It's a really fun thing. It's one of the few things I miss from being in college, where you when you're actually in a classroom and you have people you can bounce ideas off of, and it was a much more creative time. So
Yeah.
I just want to say hi to Dylan in the audience. He says hi.
Hey Dylan, how's it going, man?
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's so one night I'll have to get you on one of those, and we can hang out.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and I try to bring artists who may not know each other, but I think would get along based on, what I know of each artist. Like one night,
buddy. I've got no qualms with anyone.
Yeah. No, but I mean like, oh, your work is similar, or oh, you know what, you're into D&D, they're into D&D. Let's bring you guys like
similar interests and stuff.
Yeah, I try to bring people on like that.
Sure.
But let's get back to Ninja, because we're gonna just sidetrack and go for too long.
Hey, we're just chilling, hanging out.
So okay, so you were reading like Avengers, and you're from the way you're talking, it sounds more like 80s books, right? Like late 70s, 80s.
Yeah, I'm old guy. That's all right though.
Hey, no, it's okay. Listen, I'm 47. I know what it's like. I still remember comics in. You said you go to 7-Eleven and get your comic. I still remember comics in like grocery stores and things. So
you remember how much they cost back then?
Oh God, under $1.
Yeah, it was let's see. It did jump at one point, went from 35 cents up to 60. And I was like, oh my goodness. I don't know if my dad's going to let me have enough money for this.
See, I didn't start collecting until 89. So I didn't, the books were like at $1.25 by then.
Okay. So you could always date a comic on how much the cover price was.
But I do remember getting comics every now and then as a kid, and I destroyed them. I would cut out the characters and attach like a hard like cardboard or construction paper to it.
You make little puppets and stuff.
And little puppets or little figures. One of the things I remember doing this to a Thor comic specifically. But I remember like as a kid, I had a lot of toys and stuff, but I didn't have the toys of or they didn't make all the toys of every character. So I would draw my own version of He-Man, or like I would draw the cartoon version of the Hulk and cut out the comic Hulk, and then draw like a Lou Ferrigno Hulk. And then the Hulks can meet. And like I would cut them out on paper and draw them back, and I would build play sets, like just
you went the whole route.
Oh my God, yeah. And that was like what I did a lot as a child. So when people ask me what was my favorite childhood toy, I say pencil and paper, because I had so much fun doing that. And I could have whatever cartoon I was into at the time got characters. Thundercats met the Smurfs. It was whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I remember getting Contest of Champions #1. I loved that book. And it had every superhero in it, if you remember that one. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I never even heard of Alpha Flight. Or I barely was getting to learn what X-Men were, but they had them all in there. And I was like, these are amazing. So I did kind of what you did. I drew, some real rudimentary cartoon versions of them all, cut them all out. And then I would just like play with them all and just make the whole like scenes of their, adventure from that book. But same kind of deal. We don't have the money to go get action figures, and they didn't make them all. So
exactly. I mean, I remember when the Secret Wars came out, like the toys. Yeah. I loved those toys. I loved the superpowers.
With the shield?
Yeah, with the shield, the holographic shield.
Yeah.
The superpowers, because I'm a DC guy more than Marvel, but but like Dr. Fate, oh my God, all-time favorite, one of my all-time favorite.
See, I learned about him through Sandman comics.
Those were great.
In my college years, that's when I started collecting Sandman. So then I learned more about DC through that series. If you can believe it.
Well, this is what I always tell people too. Like what got me into superheroes were Saturday morning cartoons. I watched the Super Friends. I watched Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. I watched whatever was out there, and I only found out about them being comics because I saw them in the store as a comic book. But my first introduction was these cartoons, and they're a lot more toned down than what the comic was. So
right.
Like if you're reading, if you're watching the Super Friends and then you go pick up a Batman book, it is completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, you know, it took me a little bit to get into the comic book superheroes. I got into them because I had a cousin who had a bunch of comics and I would read them, but I was always a newspaper guy, and that's how I knew Spider-Man. I knew Spider-Man as a
Oh,
newspaper strip, not as a comic book first.
Cartoon. Okay.
Yeah, so first when he was in the comic, it was first the cartoon, then it was the newspaper strip because he premiered. He wasn't in the paper I got, my father got, but he was in New York City where you know my mom and dad's family are were in Brooklyn, and so whatever paper they brought in, they had Spider-Man, they had Dick Tracy, they had the Phantom, they had all those newspaper strips that I grew up loving, which is why I think I prefer strips to books these days. But
interesting. Okay.
It's the whole idea of the comics, the stories, the superhero, like with the newspaper strips, you had to go back each day and read. You know, with a comic book, yeah, with a comic. So if my parents didn't get the paper, I didn't get the full story. You know, but if I buy a comic book, I have 30 days now to wait until the next one comes out and imagine what's going on. So there was the comic book was better for my mind, just in case I didn't see the strips daily. But,
so how would the strips work? So I know they basically did like 4 or 5 panels of, or was it?
Yeah, it's 3 to 4 panels on a daily.
Okay.
And a Sunday could be, well, Sunday would figure double that, because most Sunday strips were 2 tiers. Yeah.
But
so I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was wondering how much of a story would you get in Spider-Man? I didn't see Spider-Man in the papers.
You would get. I mean, you would get enough of a story. Okay. I mean, the problem is I have a bunch of comic strip collection books over there. That's why I keep looking back.
Nice.
Hold on. I think I might have to take my headphones off.
No problem. Sorry, everyone. I keep making them go back and get stuff.
So this right here, these are the 2 books that are out. Stanley and Ramita.
Yeah, Ramita.
Okay. So, like, when you look at it, so the colored right here is the Sunday strip.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The black and whites are the daily. So you'd see 3.
And that's 3
they're
days,
3 per page.
Right there.
So this is, say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Nice.
Right there.
Oh, wow. They did a lot.
They would do a lot. It was, but I mean, if you want me to bring it a little closer.
So by the end of the week, now would they finish would it be like a complete arc?
Oh, no, that the complete arc would go over usually over a month.
Okay.
Or more than months. Could be 3 months. Could be whatever. This is for any story strip that.
Okay, I got you.
It's
just curious how that worked.
Yeah. The way most strips work is they could have, say, and like in comic strips for a story, could have a full year arc. Okay. And then they'll have subplots that are, this one's going to be 3 months. This will be a month. This will be, so they bring it in that way. But what a lot of stuff does, and a lot of humor strips will do this, is that, like, either every day is a different character or they have a theme each week. So the whole theme is, I don't know, like right now Halloween's coming up. So it could be every day to build up to Halloween. So they're all Halloween strips. So if you were to look at, since The Wiz, for example, my strip is only weekly every Wednesday, October has been about Halloween since the first Wednesday of Halloween. Today is the last Wednesday. So I might put something out on Tuesday saying Happy Halloween, like a drawing of the characters or whatever.
Nice.
But when Wednesday comes, it's not going to be Halloween stuff anymore.
Right.
And something that happened in today's strip is going to start off the November story that I'll do.
Okay.
All right. But they're all humor stuff. So that's the thing. So
I have to check out your comic.
I hope you do.
I'm definitely going to now.
But hold on, sorry. But anyway, let's really talk about your work. So when did you first? So the first comic that you made that you got paid $5 a page for was basically
It
GI
may
Joe
be more.
fight
You know, it'd be
zombies.
so funny if that guy actually hears this and is like, $5, I paid him $7. What's he talking about?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
go ahead.
When did you get into making your own?
So that would definitely be in my first year in college. So being I don't know what they call it, when you first get into college, you don't get the schedule you want, basically. You know,
You get your required classes.
You get what you can get, and you know, everything was general ed, and I would have like some classes real early in the morning. Then there'd be like a 5-hour gap, then have another class, and then 3-hour gap, and then have 2 more classes at night. So my schedule was all over the place, and I found myself spending a lot of time just like hanging out in the library, you know, bored out of my mind, taking naps, you know, waiting for the next class to start.
Yeah.
So then I was like, I should be productive, and I don't have anything to draw. I said, why don't I just draw my own thing? And of course, just like I was in 4th grade, you know, I was reading Sandman comics. I was really into them. So I thought, the series had just canceled, I believe. So or not canceled, it had ended. And so I'm like, I'm going to make my own Sandman stories, but you know, I'll change it so I don't get in trouble. And I wasn't like preparing to do this for like a big, massive audience. It was just basically for me to kill time and for my friends. Yeah. So I did a couple of those, Xeroxed them, handed them out to my friends, and they're like, "Oh, this is pretty cool. It's kind of weird, but okay." And I just kept doing more of that. Suddenly, the characters started becoming my own characters, and my friends started asking for extra copies because they have some friends that saw it and they liked it, and so I made some more Xerox copies. Again, I wasn't charging because they're my friends. But at some point when I was making over 75 copies of each little stapled edition, I started thinking, this is costing me a little bit of money here.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that I have something to do. I'm motivated. I feel like I'm, doing something, but it's starting to cost me. So I started charging, $2 every little stapled. It was like a 12-page stapled thing. It was it was not any professional thing. Then it got to a point where I was at the Ape convention, which is the Alternative Press Expo.
Yeah, I've never been. I hear that was a great show.
Oh, it was. It was really cool.
Is it still happening? Do they still do it? Do you know?
I'm not sure if they're still doing it. I know that at one point, Comic-Con had bought it out and started kind of making it a little bit different. Yeah. And I think a lot of. Anyway, I'm not going to get into.
No.
But so it may still be going. But I met this other comic book creator named Jesse Ham, and he came up and he liked what I was doing, and he asked, "Hey, you want to team up and let's make a professional comic out of this?" And so I was like, "Okay." And then I was like, "Well, if we do that, I'm going to totally have to revamp a lot of the storylines and make sure I don't use any of these characters that kind of were looking like." Sandman ripoffs or, like, and so we did a couple, we did from issues 26 to 30. It was a comic called Scattered, and he did a comic called Comics to Bore and Confuse You. And it was kind of like a split down the middle. I had my half, he did his half. We split all the costs. We split any profits we might have made. But we did that for a number of years. And that's kind of what kind of took it off. After that, I continued with Scattered. He went and did his own thing, and I did continue with Scattered. I did a revamp of issue 1. It's still going to this day. There's a kind of what Scattered.
I'm going to give you the full screen so we can see it here. So there you go.
This is the issue number 1, the relaunch of it, and this 2009. So
is that your work on the cover, or did you have someone else do the cover?
That's mine.
Oh, it's nice. I like it.
Thank you. Sorry,
I know it's a little. It's the thing. No, it's nice.
There. Anyway, so Yeah, Mike's style's a little bit cartoony.
There's nothing wrong with that. My
it
style's
works.
very
It
cartoony.
works. I like it. So from Scattered, I started. I was at conventions selling it. Since it's kind of cartoony, a lot of younger audience would come up and look at it, and their parents would be like, "I don't know about that." So I made a comic book called Panda Days. This is started out being for the younger audience, and it's more of a lighthearted comic. This is the evil character. She's evil because she's got dark makeup on, and she's got ninjas. But it's really lighthearted and fun. And I did that for a number of issues. It's actually in a trade now collection. Okay. And I actually have an offshoot of that book called Little Goths, which it's just little fun, cute adventures. But they're not really. It started out for the younger audiences, but it was basically everyone in their teens were buying it instead. All the teenage, mostly teenage girls really liked it. So hey, you know
what? I'm going to tell you right now, that is the perfect audience. When people ask me who my target audience, I always say it's families, because I do all ages stories. But you want the teenage girl to be your fan base because they buy everything. You make a button, you got the button. You buy a shirt, you make a shirt.
I wish I had all this. I started merchandising like crazy at the conventions. I'd have the buttons, I had the tank tops, I would have the postcard. I had the little memo pads with a pen with the characters on it. Stickers.
Yep. I learned to merchandise 14-year-old girls. That's exactly who you want. Everybody should be hitting that 13, 14-year-old Hot Topic girl that
Hot Topic actually carried Scattered for a while in their store. Yeah, for a brief time.
I remember back, was it in the late 90s, was it early 2000s, they were carrying comics, and it was all like slave labor books. Do you remember those?
Yes.
Like
Johnny Lenore, and Squee, and
all those books. If you fit in that realm,
cute little dead girl.
I actually just found an old Johnny book the other day when I was cleaning up my studio. I was going through a box of books, and I'm like, do I want to get rid of? And then I found the Johnny and the Homicidal Maniac. I'm like, when the heck did I buy this? Though, I got to say, that era of indie books, though, man, some of that stuff was great.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun. And Ape was put on by slave labor.
Yes.
So slave labor graphics. Let me just make sure I say that.
Yes.
And so they would have this huge line of tables with every creator that's in their company there. And so they'd have the Johnny and.
I don't remember what company put it out. I don't remember if it was slave labor graphics or not. But I'm just curious because I always ask everybody who read indie comics in the 90s. Did you ever read Scud the Disposable Assassin?
I don't think I've heard of that one. Say that again?
Scud the Disposable Assassin.
Wait, yellow, very blocky. He has guns, like.
Yeah. That was my favorite book.
I've never read it, but I did see it all over the place. At conventions, when it had big banners and stuff, and I always thought it was such a cool looking character, but I never picked it up.
Oh my God. You can find a digital omnibus of it these days. It's hard to find the actual physical one, but man, such a great story about here's a quick pitch. In this time period where they are, you could buy assassins out of vending machines, and once they kill their target, they explode and boom, they're done. Right? So someone buys Scud out of a machine and programs him to kill whatever he had to kill, and the thing got away. And when he went in the bathroom to clean up, he saw the reflection in the mirror. It says something like, "Do not stand close to this unit. Upon killing their target, they will explode." He's like, I don't want to die. So the first couple of books is like him not killing the target, but maiming him enough that he's in the hospital. And now he has to take other assassin jobs to pay the hospital bill to keep this character alive. And I'm like, it is freaking genius.
Okay, so he can assassinate other people.
but it's that target.
It's the target because his programming knows who it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's a great concept. Okay.
And it has a little.
I'm gonna go look that one up. That's a great concept.
Adult humor. Like there's.
I'm surprised they haven't made that into like some sort of a TV series or something.
Well, they just finished it a few years ago. The creator was one of the I can't remember the guy's name right now. Rob something, but he was like Dan Harmon's partner in creating like Rick and Morty and all those shows. So he's like his writing partner or something. But anyway, he stopped the series for God knows how many years and just came back to finish it like 5-10 years ago. And they finally put an omnibus out. And I was like, I just want it just to hold the omnibus, but I have a digital copy of it. Somewhere.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'll have to check that one. Like I said, I recognize the name and immediately the vision of the character, the little robot character, jumps in my head with his guns. And the style of the art looks really energetic. I really like that's what I always say. The energy in an art style, I always love that, and I always try and capture energy in my
That
style.
is a big influence on me, and that's why one of the reasons I bring the book up all the time, because of the energy.
Yeah,
I don't talk about it often, but it's the end. Like when I draw, I notice I'll break down a character, and I'm like, oh my god, I haven't even drawn anything outside the loose outline of him, my little underdrawing. And I'm like, it looks like Scud. You know, it's just the way it is.
We're inspired by what we're inspired by, man.
Exactly.
You know, that gets us going. You know, gets that the foundation juices flowing, and then we can move on from there.
Yes, absolutely. Let's take a look at your site and show people some of your work and your comics here. So we got some of your time. Let's
Scout Comics is the name of my publishing company. And basically what we are is a bunch of creators that have band together under the banner Scattered. And basically we try and pull all our resources together to get tables, get book signings, get good deals on printing, and that as a big entity instead of individuals. And seems to really work out that way.
That is awesome, man. So if we go to creators first... Wow, you got a list of names here that I don't know if I know anybody.
Hopefully, I know for sure the first couple are linkable. I'm not sure how many.
Wait, no, I think I gotta.
Did you go through them all?
No, I know James.
Oh, you do? Awesome.
I do know James. He's over in New Jersey, right? I think, or was?
No. I want to say he's over here in Sacramento, but
maybe I'm wrong, but I think I've met him a couple of times. Maybe I just know him from shows in Jersey, maybe.
See, I'm under my rock here drawing all the time, so if some of these creators have moved away and they're somewhere else, but I'm pretty sure he's in Sacramento.
I feel like I know this name too.
Rena Young, also known as Miss Misery, horror hostess.
No, I don't know her. I thought she was
She has a weekly TV show called Movie Massacre.
Really? Okay, well, I won't go through all of them.
You're like, okay, I don't know any of these people.
No. Like, but their names the names look familiar to me. Like Maureen's name looks familiar, and so does Scooter.
Okay.
I don't know. I maybe I've just seen the names places, but
hey, maybe you know what? Maybe my promotions are working. Maybe I'm putting them in front of you. Maybe it's like Scud with me. You know,
yeah.
I recognize it. I don't know much, but I do recognize it.
But I'm going to tell the audience right now what I'm going to do is I am going to just go back to the main page. I am going to copy and paste this into the comments here so you guys can go check out this website when you get a chance after the show. Please don't leave. But
they can open another tab.
Yes, they could. But take a look at the creators. Honestly, that's one of the, outside of looking at the work, I like to go look at creators and learn about other artists, and if they're, if I like their work, if I, also, do I want to bring them on the show, things like that. But
I passed the test, I guess.
Yeah. No, dude, I love your stuff. So we're gonna look here. So you got a long list of books. Now, how long has Scattered been in business for?
So I believe Scattered did hit their 30th anniversary.
Their what?
The 30th anniversary.
30th. Wow.
So I've been self-publishing Scattered for 30 years. Panda Days was I think 20 years. Shadowhunters, which is that's the popular series that everyone.
And really I think this is what I've seen a lot of.
Yeah, Shadowhunters it's kind of the flagship book, even though it wasn't my first book. I did the whole thing as something for fun. I was really into horror movies. I wanted to just do a fun book about monster girls, and I guess people really enjoyed it. So that's what the campaign that I'm running right now is based on one of the characters from Shadowhunters.
Now, the campaign you're talking about, is that a Kickstarter?
Yes, a Kickstarter campaign. It's so that you see the green-haired girl on the cover there. I'm
going to tell you right now, I am colorblind.
Hey, I'm colorblind too. But
this one here?
Yes, that one there. Okay. So her name is Jessika. She's the werewolf girl in the Shadowhunters comic book, and the campaign right now is focused on a book called Jessika Kill. And it's basically her origin story and how she became a werewolf for the first time. So, nice. And then that's what the campaign is running. It started on Friday the 13th, which seemed appropriate. And this is its second week. We're about halfway through the second week of the campaign.
Do you have a link on here that I can share?
If you go back to the homepage and scroll down just slightly to that scroll up a little bit more to the side. Yeah, right there. You see, yes. Click on there.
Okay, let's open a new tab.
If it will let you. Yeah, there it is.
All right. Well, what we're going to do first, before we even start going into more detail talking about this, let me just get to the right screen. Come on. Sorry, I got 3 screens to go through here. Let us paste this in the comments, and you guys can go check this out and support it, which you have already beaten your goal. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yes, we're blown away by this love and support for this comic, for sure.
This is really nice. I like the blood splatter up here.
Yeah, Summer Dale did the cover for us, and this one was all her idea. So the blood, it looks like it's making a little werewolf head on there, and she's in the barn. So this is about a girl that's from the country, and she is part of a werewolf community she didn't know she was a part of, because nobody turns into a werewolf till they turn 18, and that's when things go awry. So
this is nice. I like the art.
So the first page is right there. So we have 2 chapters in this. Chapter 1 is drawn by Noel Serrato. And then chapter 2 is by the artist Benny Jordan. And he's actually the artist that's drew issues 1 and 2 of Shadowhunters. So we brought him back for this book.
Are they the same colorists, or?
We kept the same colorist as Federico. Federico is the colorist on both of these, and we try to use the same colorist because we wanted there to be a melding a little bit as much as possible, because the styles are a bit different. I cool.
I was gonna say, no, I like that they're 2 different styles. I was gonna say this coloring on the top one here looks a little different to me, but I don't know if it's just because it's brighter. Or if it's in a different style, but yeah, I mean, I coloring looks great. It's nicely cell shaded, everything here. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I noticed it too. With the hair's a little bit less.
Yeah,
bright. But the Benny stuff right there. That scene takes place at night in a dark barn, and the other one's like in the middle of the town with the sun. So maybe.
Yeah. No, this is awesome here. Wow. I didn't realize. You know, the what's the word I'm looking for? Violence of blood. You know, in there, which is fine. I'm not opposed. I'm not saying it's bad.
I should have warned you. I'm sorry.
No. I just didn't.
It's a horror comic. I'm sorry.
Listen, I figured as a werewolf story, it was going to be a bit horror. But sometimes based on style, I don't think I'm going to see certain things.
Yeah.
Believe me, I'm quite okay with it. I'm not like, oh my God, this is disgusting. I got to turn this off. It's bad. No, this is beautiful work. I love what I'm looking at. But before I got to this page, I was going to say who your target audience was. Definitely not kids.
Yeah, this one does have a mature label.
Yeah.
It doesn't get like,
I love this.
Super like R-rated or anything. Like, there's no like full frontal nudity or anything like that. But there definitely is violence. There's definitely blood. There's some mature situations, I guess is the best way. So like PG-13-ish.
Yeah. You know what I like a lot? And I haven't like really gone through your books. Like I said, I haven't really read anything, but I love what I see. This one here, and you could tell me if this is, about Benny and his background, but I really feel when I look at Benny's work, even up here, I feel like I'm looking at video games. I feel like it's a cutscene almost.
Oh, really?
Like right up here that I can feel like this part should be in a video game. This part is, right here, the fighting aspect of it. Like I just get that almost like Street Fighter type of feel looking at it.
So I'll tell you a little bit about Benny. He did go to animation school and learn to. I think he took a couple of years to do that. Yeah. And he is now. When I was telling you earlier, I worked as assistant animator in an animation studio. He was like the full-on animator.
Okay.
And so I was doing the storyboards and stuff for him, the assets, and then he would animate them. So maybe some of this is. And then one of the people that worked in the studio with him did do video games in animation. Okay. So they might have fed off each other a little bit too. And
yeah. Oh, that makes sense. That is just great though. I love it. It's super nice stuff here.
So we did have some early backer rewards, but they're all gone now except for the right now. If you back now before Halloween, you'll get this full color. If you scroll down just a little bit more.
Oh wow!
Yeah, this werewolf print, and this is one that I did.
Yeah, no, that's
and it's
nice.
Basically Jessika. This is kind of a take on Little Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf, but I did a werewolf as Jessika, and Renea, who is our Shadow Hunter's girl. That's the witch. She's dressed up as Little Red Riding Hood. So this is a print I'm giving just to any backer that backs before Halloween.
Nice. Well, let's take a look and see what else is digital offers. You got some prints going on of characters.
These are all books we previously.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, for $5 you can get the Jessika Kill book, but these are all the other books that we have done. The Double Jessika book is the Shadowhunters #3 that you were looking at earlier. Lylith Mara is a book we did. First Succubus and the first Vampire. Digital Bite Me is another Shadowhunters Bite Me. It features the vampire character. We started with just Bite Me. We were just kind of doing a one shot. We're like, okay, let's do a vampire comic. And then that did so well that we decided let's do one for each of the girls. And there's 3. So we're doing Jessika on this one, and then we'll do Renee on the next one.
Nice. Let me ask you, because I know you said you're big into like horror and stuff. Was it always like monster characters that you loved, or are you into other types of horror that you would be building books off of?
I like all kinds of horror. 60s, 70s, 80s horror. The only kind of horror I don't really like are the real life type horror movies, like the ones where they're serial killers are breaking into someone's house and killing, you know what I mean, like taking a family hostage and I that stuff just gets that's like it's like that's too real life, man. I like the more supernatural type stuff.
Yeah, I get you.
You know
Because
what I mean?
I've mentioned this on the show many times. I'm not a horror fan, but
Okay.
I'm not a horror fan on film, on TV. I don't mind it in comics. I will read a horror book.
Oh, okay.
Without an issue. But just like you, the real life stuff, I don't like.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the classic Universal monster movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
All those things. Like those are the type. Like I've been so busy. It's the season 4 Universal monster movies. I haven't even had a chance to sit down to watch one yet. You know.
You should put it in the background so you can at least hear it.
I know. I got to find certain streaming services. Like I think Peacock will have like Frankenstein and all those and whatever. So I'll look those up when I get a chance. But yeah, I'm a big werewolf fan, so I'm excited about seeing what you do.
Awesome!
The Wolfman is my favorite Universal monster movie.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, I mean, like I said originally, I just did the first Shadowhunters as a fun way to basically take a bunch of monsters.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, these monsters have been done all, the best that they can be done. And I was like, well, I'll make them into like maybe female versions of them and see, and do something do it that way. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it seemed like everyone liked it. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, looks great. I mean, the stuff looks amazing. I'm and the $50 pack is everything, it looks like.
Yeah, that one will get you, like, for someone that's just now jumping on for the first time, the $50 pack will, it'll get you, like, pretty much all our books that we've done and a bunch of desktop wallpapers.
And you're offering print copies of the books as well.
These are all the print copies.
Man, that is too high. Yeah, I like that. So 40, you get everything there, and then there's another
Noel Serrato, who did the interior work that you said you liked. He did a couple of covers as well.
That's up here. That's this one here.
No,
right?
that's this. Oh, the one below it.
Oh, below it, right here.
Yeah, that you said you liked his cartoony style too.
No, I do. God, who's the artist that reminds me of? Why am I blanking on his name? It's kind of like a more cartoony version of Campbell's work.
Oh, I love Campbell's. Romana, Herberto Ramos, maybe, or I'm thinking of all the cliffhanger
yeah, like that type of stuff, like Gen 13, like all that.
Yeah, what's his name? Battle Chasers, right?
Oh, dude, I didn't even think Battle Chasers. Wow. That was such a great. I'm sorry. I have digital copies of Battle Chasers right now because I never finished, and I know they just released. They just came back last year.
I was about to say, did you know they just came back with?
Yeah, and I haven't had a chance, and I haven't picked any up, and I should have been because I'm still reading the digital omnibus or whatever the hell I got.
Oh wow!
And I'm in there, and I read I literally 2 or 3 pages a week because I'm just so slow. Right? What?
Joe Mad, is that the artist?
I think so. I have to look. I'm sometimes so bad.
Yeah, or Moderna. There's so many good.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude! But Battle Chasers, that is such.
Wow. That is a good one.
That is great.
Yeah, with the Cliffhangers book, I like all those guys. Oh, Chris Bacallo. What was he? Who did? Was it? They all were doing a whole different group of books. Crimson was for Roberto Ramos, which is a vampire book, and was it Out There? Was Chris Bacallo? Oh well. Anyway, I'm sure all the comments are gonna be like, "You dummy! Don't you know that these are the names of them?" Okay. I know
someone will do it. Yeah.
Noel's gonna watch this and go, talk to me. He's like, okay, we got to go back to comic book school 101. You cannot be talking about comics and not know all these things.
There's too many names though, man. You gotta.
So I did a cover before for this campaign, but it was just for Friday the 13th. So the cover vanished after 24 hours. The campaign launched. Mm-hmm. So Noel's like, you need to have at least one cover on here. So this is my cover that I contributed. This is Kaylee, who's Jessica's best friend. And
she's a werewolf too.
Yeah, I'm like, apparently, spoiler alert, she's a werewolf. So
yeah, I gotta. It's funny because I gotta. When I draw werewolves, I don't know what it's the reason why, but I very rarely give them sharp teeth at the top. I always put it at the bottom for werewolves. I don't know if I don't know if that's how I distinguish my
because of
vampire.
Universal.
Is it from Universal?
Universal, didn't the Wolfman have the teeth that went up?
He had the teeth that went up,
and
maybe.
Dracula had went down. Yeah.
And that's how I've always distinguished between when I'm drawing a werewolf or a vampire.
Oh my goodness. You know what? I'm gonna be rethinking. Yeah, this was the last time.
Tiny teeth, that tiny sharp teeth, but the bigger teeth are always at the bottom.
Yeah, no, you're right, because she would have. See, now after the show, it's gonna be. This was the last time Jason Dube ever drew werewolves with top teeth. Thanks.
Oh man, yeah, no, this is good.
It was all Michael's fault.
All Mike. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Wholesome.
She did a double cover, so it's got both the best friends. Mm-hmm. And this is kind of the wholesome variant, and then we got the wild variant, and then of course we have a group bundle that you can grab too.
Nice.
Oh, I forgot. So Virgin foil. I don't know if you know what Virgin Comics. It's basically the cover without any of the dressing. Mm. So I didn't know that. I was taught that.
Yeah, so. I don't know all the names. I mean.
In fact, I didn't even know what dressing meant. They're like, "Oh no, you take the dressing off." I'm like, "What does that mean? What's the dressing?"
And this is the bundle of all of them there.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, dude, you've got so much great stuff here. Oh, I love this. I like the manga-esque.
Yeah. No, she Zumi Neko. She does a lot of covers for us. And she did this one first, and then I had the idea. Let's do like a Blood Moon variant. But I think it was right during one of the Blood Moons we just had. And I was like, oh, we should do a Blood Moon something. So here's the Blood Moon version of it with like the grass and the fields all red tones and everything's red. And of course she's bloody, but
yeah, this is gorgeous stuff here. I love it. I've been actually lately drawing a lot of manga stuff. So this is just kind of,
oh, that's right up your alley then.
No, right. I mean, I still do my cartoony stuff, but
yeah,
sketching, I don't know, like, and I don't want to keep you much longer. I know you got to go soon, but we grew up kind of the same era, and a lot of the cartoons that we grew up on, even if it was G.I. Joe or whatever, they had that made in Asia look, and everything.
Transformers,
Yeah, Thundercat, all of them. They all look.
That's right, Thundercats, Silverhawks.
Yep. and for me, like I used to draw those a lot. So I have like an anime manga influence in my style. And for years when I taught college, I used to outlaw anime and manga because I wanted people to actually learn how to draw. But I don't know what it's been in the last year or two. I have embraced that influence a lot more.
Welcome to the fold.
And yeah, I mean, so sometimes like I'd love to show you guys stuff. I'm not ready to show it, man. I can show you off the air, but for those who remember, my first comic back in 1997 was this guy, Plunger Pup. It's about a dog who fought crime with a magic plunger. And
nice.
And anyway, I'm working on bringing him back, and there's a big anime manga influence.
Oh, and when did you do that one?
97.
Nice. Oh, okay. I'd love to see. I'd like to see the evolution now.
I'll show you off the air.
All right.
I'm not ready to show it to the world yet. But yeah, no, this stuff is coming out. Like I'm really enjoying what I see. I'm glad there's time to back because I need to.
Yeah, we're about almost halfway through.
I need to figure out what tier I want to back. Excuse me.
I'll help you out. There's one that gets you everything. No, I'm just kidding. This is a collage cover, and it's just basically the evolution of Jessika from the first time she showed up in Scattered to Shadowhunters to where she is now. But all the different artists that have drawn her and all her kind of different. And I actually drew her at the very, very bottom. If you see on that cover,
This one here.
Yeah, it's me. Super cartoony.
Well, it doesn't matter, dude. I was going by the signature. But, I love that. This should be a wallpaper or something that you give.
The collage?
Yeah,
Really?
the collage. This is gorgeous.
I'm
I'll
so
tell you.
happy you said that. Actually,
Let me tell you something. I'm in the process, and I keep telling people this, and I haven't done it yet. But my back wall, because my show is all about indie art, I want to start posting, take the stuff down, and put up indie art, and promote people, promote my friends, promote artwork I see that's great. If I had a print of that, that would go on my back wall.
I'll send you a file.
I appreciate that. No,
if it's gonna go on your back wall, I'll send you a file.
Yeah, no, I will. I would put that on my back wall. I think it's a really good, a really nice piece. I like that a lot.
Okay, yes, you got it, man.
Yeah, cool blank covers.
Yeah,
Nice.
we do the blank covers. You know, when you have a comic book created by artists, you know, we're ready to, and you don't have to have, of course, it's blank, so you can have anyone you want to draw it on there. But we do offer an add-on where you can have me or Noel draw something for you on it. Nice.
Gallery of Blood. Wow.
So Gallery of Blood is something that we started doing, and I don't know if you'll recognize this cover because it's an homage to John Byrne's She-Hulk.
Yeah.
And he did a cover similar to that. But basically, Gallery of Blood, it takes all the images from the entire campaign and all the rewards and bundles it up into a big art book. Cool. And so it's kind of like a nice little, you know, a nice little coffee book, well, or whatever you want, if you just like the artwork. And it does come with actually a bonus comic inside of it that isn't offered anywhere else. And it's an homage to the She-Hulk comic that was done by John Byrne. So you get that in there as well by Noel.
And you guys, for those watching, $30 for this tier, man, that is fantastic. And then everything you want.
There you go. That drain me dry, including my wallet.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You're like, and that actually comes with a sketch too by me.
Nice.
So you get all that.
Yeah, no, that is great. And listen, you guys have some really great, what's the word? You know, if you, I don't know what the best word is. It rewards? Is it what do they use in Kickstarter?
Yeah, rewards.
Rewards.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, you got some nice add-ons that I'm looking at here.
Thank you.
This is great. Are you guys?
And we do everything pencil and ink, so we have a lot of original art.
Nice. I was about to ask that.
11 by 17s. Look, I'm gonna get up and get some now.
Yeah, go for it. I'll give you the screen when you're back so you can show the whole thing.
So kind of like this kind of a thing where this one is already, we place all the artwork into these plastic top loaders so they're nice and secure. But yeah, this is the original pencil and inks. I don't know if you can see all the eraser marks.
No, not yet.
Pencil and inks. I actually ink a lot of these on my own show that I do each Friday. I do a live drawing show where basically I did it for other artists, just kind of like what you were just talking about. You know, you just hang out and draw. And
when does that go? When do you go live with that?
So I do that on Fridays. I started doing it a little bit earlier because it turns out it's a little bit easier for a lot of people. I get more people at the 4:00 p.m. So that's specific time. So that would be
7 p.m. my time.
7 p.m. your time.
Yeah.
So
I'd love to come on. I'm still working until 7:30.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But your show sounds a little bit cooler because you actually have all the screens of people working, where I don't really have that set up yet.
It's that one's just private hangout. But I'm going to try to get stuff set up. I do, like I said, I do want to bring other streams out. I just don't. I'm just not ready to start it officially yet. I still have stuff in the works because I want to make them something special, not just me popping on and saying, hey guys, I'm drawing today. Watch me draw. You know, I want it
Yeah,
to be
that's what I do.
something a little. Well, I do that sometimes. But I want it different than what I do here, where I'm interviewing artists. But at the
Oh,
same
okay.
time, I want it to be an actual draw stream.
I gotcha.
So it's
Well, I love those. I mean, like I said, that helps motivate, inspire me.
yeah.
So I'll put your show on, and I'll be drawing right while you're going too, right next to you.
I appreciate that. That sounds great. Listen, I know we got to get you going in a moment, but
I got dinner.
I know this stuff.
Luckily, I don't have to cook tonight. So last night I had to cook, and I was listening to the Niobe show, and he was talking about the campaign, and he's like, and I was chatting in the stream, and he's like, "Hey, you want to jump on?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, I'm cooking right now."
Yeah.
It's 7 over here on my end.
Yeah.
So where are you at? You're at.
It's 10:4.
Oh
yeah,
my
10:14.
But you can stay up late.
Well, because of because of my day job, I actually live on your coastal time.
Yeah.
So I don't fall asleep until like 1 a.m. my time.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe later.
I am jealous of you.
I've been
we were talking earlier, and I was like,
yeah.
"Oh man, I'm jealous. I want your schedule."
No, I don't. You know, I'll honestly Lay in bed with a sketch pad or draw on my iPad, or sometimes I'll be like, okay, you know what? I have my iPad. I'll put a show on like I've been rewatching the Guy Williams Zorro on Disney Plus.
Oh, really?
Because I'm a big Zorro fan, but also like as I said, I did artwork.
Pointed out earlier with the
yeah. So
nice.
But yeah, dude. Okay, you know what? I gotta stop looking. You guys, I'm sitting here staring at the artwork, and I'm falling in love with everything I see. This stuff is awesome.
Well, Michael, you just keep that link, and you go back later and just.
Oh, I will. Don't you worry. The link, but for those watching, the link is in the comments. So make sure you go to Scattered Comics. It's scatteredcomics.com. Yeah, go to scatteredcomics.com. Check out all the work. Check out the creators. Look at the different books. I have to have you back because we haven't even touched upon half of your books. We've only talked about one, really.
Yeah, that's okay.
So yeah, I got to bring you back
tomorrow, brother. We can do this. We can do this another day
for
sure.
Yeah.
I'm not going nowhere.
The way this is set up, I'm gonna have to like give you one show a month for a year or something.
Nice. Only if your audience wants me back.
I'm sure they'll love it. But yeah, the Kickstarter is also in the comments.
Kill Jessika Kill on the search bar.
Jessika Kill. Awesome work. You got a lot of great talent. Congratulations on 30 years of doing this.
Thank you,
I mean, you can't say that about many companies. Especially indie companies outside of Image. I mean, it's you're doing it, and just because I didn't get a chance to ask, can we find you in any stores, or you do a lot of cons? How do you get your books out to people?
Local stores out in California, but for the most part, everything's done through campaigns now. I do have a Square store. If you go to scatteredcomics.com that you were showing, and you click on the Jason Dube from the creators bar, on that page, you'll see the Square store. And it's got all my books, original artworks that all in my in my notepads and everything else that you can purchase. There's a link to my YouTube, and I think we're connected on YouTube as well. So
yes, I followed both your channels, and
awesome. There's a Square store right there.
Yeah, right here, YouTube channel, Square stuff. I do want to talk and see what this is, the comics versus manga. I haven't had a chance to look at that, but that sounds interesting.
We've got a lot to talk about because I used to teach at elementary school as well. So
really, I used to too. I used to do college.
So yeah, I think you and me, we must have had instinct lives or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Anyway,
that was you at 7-Eleven that I saw.
I was the one buying all the comics.
I was like, oh, here's your DC. Okay, here's my Spider-Man.
That's the way it works, man. Give me my Nightwing and all
There
those.
you go.
All right, I'm gonna drop you backstage. Just hang out for a minute. I'll do my wrap up.
All right, sweet.
All right.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, thanks
Good
for
night,
coming
guys.
on. All right, everyone. So that was Jason Dube. Awesome dude. This was my first time really getting to chat with him outside of some messages that we shared on like Facebook and stuff. Seriously, check out his YouTube page. It's awesome. Check out Scattered Comics. Check out everything. Honestly, we didn't even touch upon half the stuff this guy does. Definitely coming back. Definitely going to talk more. But yeah, in the meantime, check it out. Support his Kickstarter. It looks awesome. I think you guys, if you're not familiar with the work, will really love it. I'll be back next week with another guest, and yeah, things might be popping up in November with new streams and stuff. And yeah, again, thanks for watching, whether it's live or in reruns or repeats, however you say it, whatever it is. Just make sure if you're watching this before his Kickstarter ends, you click on the link in the comments and support the Kickstarter. All right, guys, I will see you later. Have a great rest of your day. All right, bye, guys.